Thank you very much for allowing me to testify today. My name is Ed Barocas. I'm legal director for the ACLU of New Jersey, representing nearly 15,000 New Jerseyans. Rights cannot exist merely in theory or on paper. They must exist in reality or they're meaningless. And where rights are not equal in application, then equal rights do not exist. By creating a separate system of rights and by ejecting language and titles not understood or easily incorporated into existing real-life events and transactions, the civil union law has failed to fulfill its promise of equality. The continued injustice for our state's gay and lesbian citizens exists on levels both profound and mundane. For the profound, it affects families, including children, which you'll hear more from others, so I won't speak on now. On a more mundane level, we live in a society where we deal in daily transactions, not only with national corporations, but international corporations. The new language of civil union that the legislature created is a foreign concept to many within our state, much less to those corporations. The result is actual disparity in treatment for those who are married versus those who are forced to be, quote, something other than married. Quick example. Last week I went to a bank to open a line of credit. In so doing, I was asked whether I was single or married. A married man would simply check off married and continue. I asked the employee what I should do if I was in a civil union. The employee responded that he didn't think New Jersey allowed civil unions. After explaining the law, I asked again what I would be required to put down. He said that civil unions were simply not contemplated in the bank's computer system, and he didn't know what the proper answer would be or how he could proceed. The obstacle and aggravation encountered in just trying to fill out a simple bank form might seem minimal or a petty complaint to some, but it's just one example of what's far from an isolated problem, as I'm sure you've all heard from other testifiers. Obstacles like the bank transaction happen daily, and death by 1,000 tiny cuts is just as harmful and often more painful. Marriage is an accepted term that carries weight and currency. Civil unions is simply something other than marriage. Problems like the one above are not simply a lack of education. The injection of the term civil union requires companies to spend untold dollars to alter systems and forms to account for this new category that is neither single nor married, but somewhere in between. Not only will the alteration of systems and forms take money, it will also take time, during which same-sex couples will be burdened in achieving these simple life activities. Some would answer that the bank should simply click off marriage, since civil unions are supposed to mimic marriage. Wouldn't that be easier, less expensive, and ensure that everyone's rights are treated equally in application? I would agree. But if that's so, then we need to ask those same questions of the state of New Jersey. Why place the onus on businesses to ignore or overlook differentiations that the state itself so distinctly chose to construct? And why put the onus on certain segment of individuals to have to fight for their rights, whether through spending time, energy, and aggravation, or through paying lawyers and instituting costly lawsuits? The civil union law also imposes clear-cut legal disabilities on certain New Jersey citizens. I think this goes to number 4 that you mentioned, Commissioner Papaleo. Rights don't exist in a vacuum. The laws of this state affect how New Jersey citizens are treated in other states. In short, by denying same-sex couples the rights to marriage, the law denies some of the rights and actual benefits of marriage. And I have 2 quick examples. Other locations in the United States or around the globe, Massachusetts, Canada, Spain, recognize same-sex marriages that are performed in other jurisdictions. And because they do not discriminate or differentiate based on sexual orientation, unlike New Jersey, their laws don't contemplate the term civil union. If New Jersey permitted same-sex couples to marry as heterosexuals do, then the couples would have a panoply of rights recognized in those jurisdictions. However, since same-sex couples are precluded from marriage in their home state of New Jersey, their relationships are not recognized or enforceable in those locations. And it's not those locations that have created the disparity of rights recognition, but rather New Jersey, which has segregated and differentiated the rights of one group from that of all others. So same-sex couples traveling abroad do not have the same rights. recognized as heterosexual couples because New Jersey doesn't allow that. Same-sex couples from New Jersey who move to Massachusetts would have to refile.
Yeah, 1 minute left, Mr. Barocas.
Okay, thank you. In Massachusetts for actual marriage, whereas heterosexual couples don't. It's automatically recognized. Another example. Same problem exists when married same-sex couples from other jurisdictions move to New Jersey. Attorney General Formal Opinion 3, 2007 results in all same-sex marriages legally entered in other jurisdictions being transformed into civil unions. That means that these couples now have 2 separate legal relationships. A marriage recognized by certain jurisdictions and civil union recognized in New Jersey. Should they end their relationship, the dissolution in New Jersey doesn't dissolve the marriage. There is no divorce. And therefore, it requires 2 separate legal processes, 2 lawyers involved, and additional money, time, and legal process. In closing, we should be well beyond the time when we believe that separate can ever truly be equal. There's ample evidence showing that without the right to marriage for same-sex couples, the state will forever place the rights of certain New Jersey families in peril and subject them to the same, quote, social indignities and economic difficulties that they daily face due to their inferior legal standing of their relationships, unquote, from Lewis v. Harris, that the civil unions law was meant to rectify, but to which it has failed miserably. That's about half of my full written testimony. I've submitted the full written testimony, which you can read. Thank you very much for your time.